Exercise snacks. This is one of the hot new fitness buzzwords that's bouncing around the interwebs. And in this episode of the podcast, I'll explain to you guys first what exercise snacks are. Second, the proposed or the possible benefits of exercise snacks. And third, how you can take action or include them. How do you incorporate these into your life if you think it might be something you're interested in? Tune in and take notes.
Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we hear and learn from our coaches, CrossFitters, and Glen Ed community leaders. Now, here are your hosts, Dallas and Greg.
What's up, guys? Coach G here from CrossFit Edwardsville. And on this episode of the podcast, we're going to explore the concept of exercise snacks as maybe one additional avenue you guys can use in order to help you get to your goal of looking your best, feeling your best, performing at your best, being your best self, living your best life. So let's get right into it. The first thing I want to address is what is an exercise snack? Because this is one of those buzzwords that's bouncing around the interwebs, and some people are talking about it as a strategy for getting more fitness progress or jump-starting fitness progress if you feel stalemated. So exercise snacks are short, frequent bursts of physical activity that you intersperse throughout your day, typically between 1 and 10 minutes each. And it offers an alternative to your traditional longer workout sessions. And maybe these are easier to fit into a busy workout schedule. The purported benefits of exercise snacks are all the benefits you see from traditional exercise: improved cardiovascular health, enhanced metabolism, maybe increased muscle strength and endurance, weight management, mental health benefits, improved flexibility and mobility, accessibility and feasibility, i.e. they require very little time and no special equipment. So they're very, very accessible to everybody. So these are the proposed benefits. And I will say that I actually do recommend these as a piece of a bigger strategy to people that I work with, people that I'm working with in terms of like body transformation, cranking their energy up, increasing their energy throughout the day, improving their exercise performance. It is true that mixing in some push-ups every hour on the hour does make you better at push-ups, and you would see changes in muscle of your arms and your chest if you did that. Now, before I go any further, I do want to introduce a caveat that if we're comparing exercise snacks to exercise full meals where you go to the gym, you warm up, stretch, do strength work, do conditioning, there is certainly a trade-off. There's a trade-off. You're going to get less of the benefit from exercise snacks compared to what I'll call, for the purpose of this podcast, exercise meals. Because when you go to the gym and you warm up, you stretch, you do strength work, you do conditioning, boom, 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 back to back to back, relative to exercise snacks, you're enjoying economies of scale effectively. Because once you've warmed up, you've stretched, and you've done some strength work, there's a lot of exercises that you are also already warmed up and stretched and prepped for. So one of the cool things that I like about the CrossFit classes that my coaches lead for me is I go in, they lead the whole thing from start to finish in 60 minutes. I get warm, I mobilize, I do strength work, I do conditioning, I get all those benefits in 60 minutes, boom, 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 boom. It's really efficient. And then a bunch of us who work out at the time spot that I do will stick around and we'll do some extra exercise for 10, 15 minutes after class is done because, as I mentioned, economies of scale. We're already warm, we're already loose, we're already limbered up, and we can layer on extra exercise very easily. And you think about it, if you go from 60 minutes of exercise to 70, you're increasing your exercise by only 10 minutes, quote unquote, but that entire 10 minutes could be high value exercise activity. And you think about it, what an additional 10 minutes on top of 60 is 1/6 more. What is that? 14, 15% additional exercise, and it's all high value exercise. So you'd never get from exercise snacks the same benefit you would get from exercise meals. But I don't want to discount exercise snacks as a legitimate strategy. I even recommend it. There are people who hang out in our program, and one of the things I challenge them to do is every hour on the hour, get up, go outside, walk around the building. This is one example. I am here at home on my standing desk. Periodically throughout my workday, I'll elevate my standing desk and I'll stand, and then I'll sit, and then I'll stand, and then I'll sit. I'll be up and down throughout the day. And the extra bouts of standing, I find, help to keep me awake, alert. They keep my body, the juices flowing. I find there's cognitive benefits to that. And so I don't want to marginalize the benefits of exercise snacks because they can definitely be a great part of a bigger picture. Or if you have no other option based on your schedule, they can be a good start point for starting to introduce some exercise to your life. So given that, I think that's a nice transition point for us to talk about then how do we add exercise snacks to your life. So here are some practical ways you can do this. First, set reminders. Use alarms or apps on your phone to remind you to take a movement break, for example, every hour or every 90 minutes. When I was in grad school, the classes were set up where we would do 50 minutes on, 10 minutes off. So we had 50 minutes of learning activity and then 10 minutes required break. We'd stand, we'd move, stretch our legs, etc. I thought it was good for helping to keep us alert throughout a longer school day. Same concept here. If you have regular scheduled intervals, every hour on the hour, I'm going to drink another couple ounces of water. Having the reminders, you can use your phone to really help to drive this momentum forward with this version of an exercise snack. So how about the second one? An old standby, a classic, stair climbing. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. And point 3, desk exercises. Maybe you can perform like seated leg lifts, chair squats, up and down from your chair, desk push-ups, put your hands on your desk, do chest to desk push-ups. This is a very practical way to introduce some additional exercise into your everyday life. My buddy Dallas, co-host on the podcast, is known for knocking out 50 to 100 push-ups in between meetings that he has during the day. You know, before he goes from one Zoom meeting to the next, he'll just knock out a bunch of push-ups. My buddy Mark, one of my trading partners in the mornings, also likes to intersperse lunges and push-ups into his activity throughout the day. An amazing way to develop additional capacity in those things and sneak in extra exercise. As your third exercise snack tip. Let's go to number 4, walking. Take short walks around your home or your office, especially after meals. This is one of my favorite ways to do this. Something I mix in myself is after a meal, I'll go out, take a quick walk around the building, walk around my house, walk around the office a couple times. And that helps to, first, I think, jumpstart digestion and metabolism of the food that you've eaten. But I also think that just getting that regular exposure to sunlight is massively valuable on so many levels, physically, psychologically, emotionally. As humans, we need to replug back into the sun and see sunlight on a regular basis. So walking is a great avenue for that. That's our 4th practical application tip for exercise snacks. Number 5, put biking in here. Biking should never be overlooked as a legitimate short distance commute strategy. So if you could bring your bike with you and you can commute from one place to the next short distance instead of driving, you get a lot of incidental activity and fresh air and sunlight during that. So that's a 5th tip, is to maybe consider biking for a commute instead of driving. Point number 6 is stretching. Engaging in a few minutes of stretching to break up long periods of sitting is also super valuable. I stretch my fingers and my forearms every single morning as a part of my morning routine. On the counter in the bathroom, I'll press down my fingers against it as I drive the heel of my hand toward the floor to stretch my fingers and my forearms. I do this every single day. It's my own version of an exercise snack that I do to help limber up my finger flexors and my forearms. Another tip you can use there. All right, point 7. This is a little bit of a throwback, but bear with me here. Using commercial breaks. Maybe some people in this audience are still watching some kind of network television where there are regular commercial breaks, or maybe you watch something on the YouTubes and there's regular commercial breaks. During those commercial breaks, do a quick exercise circuit, knock out 10 sit-ups, or do as many sit-ups as you can do during that commercial break before your entertainment resumes. But here's the punchline, here's the recap, right? So if you're incorporating exercise snacks into your daily routine, you can help to, if you're starting from scratch, either jump start and start introducing some activity, some exercise into your life, or if you're already very active with your exercise routine, this is a good way of peppering in a little extra that's going to give you even more benefit to the routine you already have in place. This routine or this strategy can be very helpful, in particular people who have very busy schedules or who may find it challenging to dedicate a bigger block of time to exercise. And hopefully it was valuable for you. If there was something in here that kind of resonated with you, tell us about it in the comments. We'd love to continue the conversation with you in the comments. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and thank you for the gift of your time and your attention. We will see you in the next episode of the podcast.